my art career started from understanding art history, and I have a great love, an enormous love for art history, and T.C. Steele and the Brown County School has played a big part of that, me growing up in Indianapolis. So Steele's work is held up in high honor with all the greats in art history from 3 different schools, the Barbizon, when he was in Munich, and the Impressionist school. So it's very attractive to me, and that I would have an opportunity to participate in something that's very important historically. That was part of the big calling call, that I would be able to participate in this. Well, I launched my career in plein air painting, and that's what Steele did here after he came back from Munich. And so I lived down here in Brown County for 5 or 6, 7 years, and I knew the area, and I'm just attracted to rural Indiana and the historical importance that Brown County is in the annals of great art history. Well, I think the emotional content that they get, if they can receive from the paintings, is real important. I have a slogan that's very important to me: the power of the suggestive is much greater than the statement of reality. And I think that's what the Brown County School did, and of course T.C. Steele being the leader of that school, that's what those paintings really exemplified. I think they would be very excited that his historical content and what he contributed to the art world would be remembered again and reveled 100 years later.
It was really magical. It was very important to me to do that, to be a part of it, and it was a huge responsibility, I felt, to take on a project like that, because it has been 100 years since someone's painted in that home, and I wanted to give it my best work, my best effort. And so that's why I started with a really simple painting. I started with the green vase, and that gave me the opportunity to put aside the technical aspects of painting and just enjoy the atmosphere, like just get a sense of the colors in the room and taking in the quietness of it. I painted down there when the home was closed to the public, so it was very quiet, very private while I worked. And that way I was able to just really get the sense of the home while painting, almost in an intuitive way. Like, it was just simple composition, simple subject matter, very direct interpretation of the vase. And that allowed me the opportunity to kind of feel the space, if that makes sense. As an artist, I have a very active imagination, and I really wanted to experience that. So I just imagined, like, what if they were here? What if they were walking into the room? I kind of felt it, like, am I making it up? I don't know. It's like, it seemed like they could be just around the corner. The home was quiet. It's obviously in a very rural setting. It was on the days when the home was closed to the public, so it was just me in the home, and it felt like they very easily could have walked around the corner. And part of it was I wanted to experience, like, how did they live their days there? What were their days like? How were their evenings? How were their nights? I asked one of the docents, I think it was Shannon, what kind of music did they listen to? What did they do for fun? They read a lot. They painted. He painted. She gardened. So when she shared with me about the music, I think it's a Victrola in the corner, and it has some of their actual record albums that are in there. And so she opened the little case, with her gloves, and allowed me to peek in there and saw what they were listening to. So I, uploaded it on my iPhone, and I played what they listened to, which is felt like was a very natural, organic way to reach back into the past 100 years. Somehow I think Selma would appreciate that her handiwork, like the home, is very much her domain, or was. She kind of managed the home, and I think she would be thrilled to see that her choices that she made, things that she brought into the home, things that they selected to have as part of their daily life, was being honored in paintings. And I know that he did that as well. There were, vases and things that subject matter that ended up in his paintings that they obviously owned. But I think she would love it, especially. Steele, I would hope that he appreciates my work. It's very different than his. But, my foundation is there, the traditional style, values, color mixing, composition, all of that is similar. The way I handle paint is different than he did. But I think he would appreciate what I do and what I've done in this project. I think they both would be thrilled that 100 years later, that it's still a place for artists to go for inspiration and to experience what they created.